Hi, I'm Sharon.
Hi, I'm Graham.
And this is Henry Wee Wheels. I adopted Henry back in 2018 after seeing his story on Facebook where he was rescued by a charity in China known as Harbin Slaughterhouse Survivors. He was badly injured, had a broken back, broken legs and had been left paralysed. And I just fell in love with him, adopted him, and the rest is history.
I'm a professional pet photographer from Belfast. So we have a studio here in Belfast and specialise mainly in portraits of people and their pets. So pretty much anything with fur. We've had dogs in, cats, rabbits, ducks, you name it. We've had them in the studio. So we first started the calendar as it was a way to give back and to donate really our time and skills. We were looking for a project that we could get involved with using a dog. But we wanted something that would showcase our work, but also something that would be meaningful to people. And Henry's story was something that resonated with us because he inspires so many people. I know now from doing this now for so long that whenever the pages of the calendar reflect, that it really puts a smile on people's faces and it makes them look at their days differently. That was a perfect project to do as a team, and where I could get to be creative and work with Sharon as well. And we had such a great little subject in Henry and his little mates as well, that it grew and grew from there.
As Graham said earlier, there's a large amount of work goes into the calendar. We're now in our 4th year of doing the calendar. I don't think either of us envisaged that it would take off to such an extent. Henry's social media pages actually took off during COVID. When we were all isolated within our own houses across the world. And I suppose for my entertainment and Henry's followers, we started to do funny wee things that were of significance to people that were maybe lonely, had different issues in their lives. And I quickly became aware of how important Henry's stories could be. Graham then suggested the calendar. It was hard work the first year, but it has mushroomed to such an extent that I don't think people realise just how much work goes into it. With any big project, planning and preparation are vitally important, and this is no different. Before we even get into the studio to take the pictures, we sit down, Graham, Hannah, Madison and myself, and we plan each month's photograph. We plan what props are required. We plan the background of the colours. At home, I'm working on the quotes because the quotes to me are so important. They are so significant. And we try to marry the quotes with each picture, with each props. And the dates that are in the calendar mean a lot to me because they're in relation to children, they're in relation to animals. So even down to the dates that are recorded in the calendar, they're all important. And then the layout, and that's when Graham takes over with the logistics of the layout and that. And I know I only see a fraction of what he does, but I can tell you it takes hours and hours of work. And that's in addition to the 4 days of actually photographing the shots.
So it is, as Sharon said, the first year was hard work, but I think, Sharon, that it gets harder every year because obviously we have to better ourselves. And as a photographer, I have to better the year previous because when you have thousands of people looking at this calendar, it's extremely important to me that they're not bored, that they're engaged and that they're excited to be turning that page. And when they do turn that page, that their breath is taken away. And that really does have a lot of planning behind it. And it takes quite a bit of time, as we've said, to do. It's not just knocked up in an afternoon. When Henry comes in for the shoot itself, it's not just one day of taking photographs. So in this year's calendar, we split it over 4 days because Henry is a little dog. He's not a professional model. He is used to having his photo taken, but he is a wee dog and obviously he needs time to kind of recuperate and it tires him out and things like that.
Yeah, I think we're always mindful, aren't we, that his welfare has to come first. And I suppose with working with Henry, I am so in tune with whether he's tired or not, whether he's losing interest. So I'm always conscious of that, as is Graham. And there are times that we do have to take a break and stop and regroup and come back to it again. So, you know, Henry's welfare always is first and foremost before we even start taking a photograph.
And obviously it's not just 12 photographs that go into a calendar. You have the 12 months of the year, but you also have other ancillary photos, like you have the cover photograph, you've got a rear cover photograph, and then we also have a couple of interior photographs as well. But the photos that you see, they're of the same high standard that we would normally do in our studio.
And whilst Graham has said about, you know, the photographs that we take in the 12 months of the year and the cover and the back of the calendar, what Graham hasn't actually said is the sheer volume of photographs per month. Whilst you look at the finished product, there may be 30 or 40 pictures taken of that 1 month where we have started to lay out the scenery, the background. We're not overly happy with it. We think we could do better. Things are changed. Graham is a perfectionist. He did say he likes things done to a high quality. What he didn't say was he is a perfectionist, and my goodness does he make us work to get things just right. And rightly so, because the calendar is so important to both of us. But for that 1 month's photograph, there's maybe 30 or 40 photographs that haven't made it. So the work is heavy going.
It is very organic as well, because when we take each photo, we may be taking 30 or 40 pictures of the same shot, but it's all based on things like, where's Henry's head as well? Does Henry look happy? So each month we're using real props in our photographs. They're not AI or anything like that. We do get asked, are these things AI? But they're not. They're genuine props. Some are bought online from Amazon. Some are bought in shops. Some have come from our houses, from our kitchens, and other ones we've had to make in studio ourselves. So this year, thank you, Madison, we have got Henry's comedic pencil, which was made by Hannah and Madison.
Which I love.
And it's actually just a bit of, this is his crayon, and that's just a cone of photo paper stuck onto a tube as well. I thought that was particularly good. Oh, and Henry's big crayon box as well.
My favourite, my absolute favourite.
And because it is theatre, this may look like a crayon box, but actually it's an Amazon box that belonged to my mother-in-law, and then we've printed out the panels and things on it as well. So
and turn it around so everyone can see. And the top. We didn't get the top in the photo.
Oh, you won't have seen the top whenever you saw it, because we didn't get the top in the photo. But that was my favourite photo that we took, I think, this year.
My favourite as well. I think the hardest one was the football-related month, where we had to get the 5 of them sitting in goals with football tops on. And Graham lies on the floor for this, but I am going to bum you down here, Graham. Graham lies on the floor. Kai is over wanting to kiss Graham the whole time. Madison, Hannah and I are running around like headless chickens, sweating blood, tears. It is hard going, but my goodness, was it worth it.
January, we've got Henry with streamers, and we wanted January really to be a photograph that made everybody go, oh, New Year, because everybody's really excited for the new year. So this year we have got streamers, and the streamers, Madison and Hannah threw the streamers in. We also started off originally with cameras. We were playing around with cameras, and then we got onto an idea about, well, mobile phones, everybody texts for the new year. So then we scrapped the cameras and we photographed Henry with mobile phones that I had lying around the studio as well.
So February, the inspiration came at our planning meeting, really. And I think it might have come from Madison, really, that we could use Dirty Dancing, the theme of Dirty Dancing. Nobody puts baby in the corner. There is Roxy Rocket, the bane of my life, who I love dearly. And we try to incorporate Roxy in February every month because people love to see her. And that was a difficult one to do, obviously, because of Roxy and her liveliness.
And often in these photos, I have an idea in my head of what I visually want them to look like before we take the photo. But a problem with this one was I've never seen, I can't even remember the name of the movie now. Well,
Dirty Dancing.
I've never seen Dirty Dancing, so I didn't even know what it was like. So it's hard to visualize, and Sharon would be telling me off because I go, that's fine. And she'd go, no, that's not like the movie. But I'd never seen the movie. So St. Paddy's Day is probably one of the most important days in the calendar, and we know for our American friends that they are very fond of St. Paddy's Day. St. Paddy's Day, we wanted to do something very different this year, and what we wanted was Henry coming out of a pint of Guinness. Now obviously we couldn't have Henry coming out of a pint of Guinness, so we photographed the Guinness separately, and then I might have drank it. And then at the end of the day we photographed Henry, and to get Henry looking a bit dishevelled, we wet the top of his head with a little bit of water, and we went under the ears to make him shake, and that's the result of what you see.
April, self-explanatory. It was quite easy. All we needed were a few balloons, a birthday hat, because that is the month, that I actually adopted Henry. So we always make a thing of Henry's Gotcha Day.
May would be one of those months, I would say, that's for spring cleaning. So it popped into our head that, well, there may be one original Henry, but there's also Henry the Hoover. And we had 2 Hoovers. These are our actual Hoovers from around the studio that we had. And we brought them out. We had to give them a little bit of a clean. And we put Henry in the middle. So there's now 3 Henrys in a shot.
Probably one of my favourites too. So for June, it's obviously the World Cup in the month of June 2026. I know 0 about football. All I had to do was buy the different T-shirts for the different countries. The hardest part was getting them all to sit and look at the camera, and yeah, that wasn't easy, but very pleased with the finishing product.
July is always a month where you want to be on holiday. So for this year's July, we had the idea of Henry going away to an airport with Roxy. So we have got Sharon, that is Sharon's legs you see in the photo, and we have got Roxy and Henry in suitcases that were my mother-in-law's, and then we had their names put on the suitcases as well.
And the month of August, the bane of my life, when I drove over Henry's wheelchair and squashed it. That is the sort of inspiration, if you like, for August. And yeah, we made light of it, but yeah, it was like an expensive experience.
And obviously we could not bring a real car into the studio, but we had tried to source a toy car, but we weren't able to get one. And oftentimes with things like this calendar, you have to think on your feet. So the car that you see is a 3D rendered model. It's not AI, it's a 3D rendered model. But everything else in the shot is indeed Henry's
broken wheels.
It's broken wheels. Oh, Sharon. Oh, we're back to September and Art Attack. This was my favourite Henry photo. And believe it or not, folks, when I came up with this idea, I was sitting in bed and had COVID, so I had no idea what I was doing. But this to me really sums up my childhood, and we really wanted it to have Henry on these props interacting with these real fun over life-size things. Because who doesn't want to be really, really small in the giant world?
And of course, October, Halloween. And I have to mention Madison for this because it was Madison carved the pumpkins. And behind the scenes, you'll see the pumpkins laid out and you'll see the lovely garland hung above. What you don't see is Hannah and Madison stand on either end for a long time with their arms outstretched. Another probably favourite of mine, but they all are.
November is a chilly month, but we of course don't want people to be turning the calendar and seeing a really cold month in November. We want them to be still smiling when they look at it. And this month we used leaves. So the leaves that you see, they're not real, they're mostly made of material. So they're cotton and things like that. And we then were able to throw leaves in, but also you will also notice in it that Henry is wrapped in leaves, and that was actually a leaf garland that I think Hannah found online.
December speaks for itself, guys. I think the chaos of Christmas, I'm sure there are many houses the same, and 5 dogs, my house is no different. It is chaotic, and that was something we wanted to inject into the photograph for December, was the chaos, the madness, and that was probably the hardest one we did. But again, Graham put it all together, lay on the floor while we all managed the balancing of paper on the heads and setting the props, but we just wanted to instill the joy and chaos of Christmas. So for me, the quotes are a big deal and so important to the calendar, and I think I wanted them initially to be inspirational, and that has just grown over the years, and also to be inspirational and tie in with the theme of the photographs. And I want the quotes, I suppose, to mean something to everybody, that you know, within each month, there's something that we can all get out of that.
The last step as well, once we have the quotes together, once we have the dates, once we have the images taken, and the images are edited first off and then they're perfected in Photoshop to make sure that we're all happy with that, and then Sharon has to sign off on that she's happy with the images and they still have to be at the high standard that we want to be. We then put it into a desktop publisher and then we compile it all together. So we design the cover, we design the intro pages, we design all the months, we put in all the dates into the months, and then we put all of the quotes into the images, and then it has to be checked to make sure it's very good, that it goes to the printer correctly, and then finally after doing all of that, it goes off to the printers.
So that is us ready to have our calendar launch event this evening. Calendar's hot off the press, and Hannah and Graham and Madison have everything set up here to welcome everybody on their arrival, and the calendars with Henry's photograph are ready to be sold.
We are super stoked for this evening. We've put on a proper party as well, and we're really looking forward to meeting everybody. We're also giving away this as part of a raffle as well, and this picture is unique because this is not a picture that's in the calendar. This is one that didn't make it into the calendar, and this is the only print of it in the world.
That is the evening over. I think we're all shattered, aren't we? Brilliant night. Really enjoyed it. I think all of you saw Henry enjoyed it too. From me personally, I'd just like to say a heartfelt thank you to everybody who travelled long distances to come here. It was a lovely evening. So good to meet a lot of you, and thank you for your support.
What an evening it really was. To the people that came from very far away as well, we had people as far as Wicklow that came tonight just to meet Henry, and they had an absolute blast too. It was a really good time, and thank you as well for those that came, because we also raised a lot of money for charity, so thank you so much.
Thank you so much from Henry and I for your support in buying the calendar, and for following us, and your lovely messages that we get throughout the year in relation to the calendar and your enjoyment of both the pictures and the quotes. It really means the world to us. And thank you for following our adventures and shenanigans on social media. Please continue to follow us, and also to follow the work of slaughterhouse survivors. Your purchase of the calendar makes an incredible difference and helps the work that they do out in China.
And thanks for watching this documentary. We really hope that it gave you a bit of insight into behind the scenes of how we work, and also of how the Henry calendar is put together. It really is a labour of love, and it requires a lot of work, not just from me here, but also from Hannah and Madison as well. And thank you to them too for their support as well. I hope you enjoyed watching this whole thing. Don't forget, you can follow us on social media as well. You can follow the Graham Crichton accounts on social media. And we love telling tales, and we love to tell yours.